Hello, all. Sharing with you some of Eckhart Tolle's teaching, which really has impacted my life. The first one of it, I'll read a paragraph for you from the book Eckhart Tolle's Oneness with All Life. There are three ways in which the ego will treat the present moment: as a means to an end, as an obstacle, or as an enemy. When you react against the form that life takes at this moment, when you treat the now as a means, an obstacle, or an enemy, you strengthen your own form of identity, the ego. Hence, the ego's reactivity. What is reactivity? Becoming addicted to reaction is reactivity. The more reactive you are, the more entangled you become with form. The more identified with form, the stronger the ego. Your being then does not shine through form anymore, or only barely. Dear friends, it is very interesting to understand this chapter because it describes a core nature of the ego. What it says is the ego's job, basically, the job profile of ego, is to reject the present. Whatever form the present moment takes, the ego will find out a fallacy in the present moment. I'll give you a very simple example of a car. Any car we have at any point of time, you find out there will be a moment, there will be a voice inside you that will tell you that look, the other car possessed by the other person is a nicer car. Isn't it true? And isn't it the reason why the world is so busy behind having new cars and new houses? Because the ego keeps rejecting the present. And the more rejection is there, the more reactivity is there. So the whole point is to realize that the voice that rejects, who is that voice? We often identify with that voice and do grave mistakes in life. It can be, leaving a partner and going away. It can be leaving a good job because, there is a temporary period of lack of proper leadership. Or it could be a simple incidents in your day-to-day life where you are just reacting to whatever is happening. I mean, the ego, the whole day, what the ego does is it feeds you with thoughts, and it makes you so compelled that you start identifying with that voice. Are there not moments in a day where the voice is very incessantly speaking? I mean, look, your job is like this. Look, you're earning this much money. Oh, look, the stock market is there. What's going to happen to you? Oh my God, the prices are increasing. But if, if and only if you can realize that this is the voice of the ego and there is no relationship whatsoever you have with this voice, then you can reach that space that is being spoken about in this book. Now, my question to you is, then if you are not the voice, okay, if you are not the voice that is being continuously relying inside your mind, then who are you? The biggest question is, who are you? And who is it which is the voice? This is the distinction which you have to understand. And this is where great saints like Ramana Maharshi, these people, they challenged this question. And when they challenged this situation, they challenged the ego. So, how there is an analogy between Eckhart Tolle's teaching and Raman Maharshi's teaching is beautiful. What Eckhart is saying is that you have to reach that space in you which is not the voice in your mind. And Raman Maharshi says, you are that blissful self which has no relationship whatsoever on anything happening in this physical world. So Raman Maharshi basically says that there is a dream world. Okay, when we sleep, right, we reach that dream world where the mind creates whatever it likes. I'm sure you might have seen dreams where you're missing a train, or you're running behind something, or writing an exam but not able to remember the answers, or a new job. So, what the mind does, it gets clues throughout the day, and when you go to sleep, it just creates its own painting. Like a small child, if you give a chalk to the small child, the child will paint whatever it likes. It don't logically think. But the mind does that when you sleep. What about when you're awake? Most of the time, we feel that when we are awake, we are actually leading the life, and when we are asleep, we are not. But the truth is that whatever is the reality of the state of your awakeness, the same reality is there in the state of your sleep. So the great saint Raman Maharshi says there is actually no difference between your waking state and your sleeping state. But he brings a distinction that there are three states: the waking state, the sleeping state of dreams, and the state of deep sleep. So he's asking, who is it who is sleeping in deep sleep? If you are the one who is in the waking state running on earth, if you are the one who in a dreamy state is dreaming of something very beautiful, then who is the one who is sleeping in the dreamless state? This is very important, my friends. Please understand this concept. It is so close to me that I wanted to share with all of you. I mean, it is a surprise to me that we often think that, oh, I am leading a life the way I want. But what Raman Maharshi says, that he discards this life. He feels that it's all an illusion. Whatever life you're leading in a dream state, whatever life you are leading in an awake state, they're all illusions, and they're all the creations of your mind and your ego. And the actual deep sleep state, where you do not have any thoughts, is your original essence. And that's what Eckhart Tolle is calling as being. Like, being is a state where you are not trying to become something, you are not reacting at something, you are just there. You are seeing the present as it is, the holy witness to all the things. It has dawned to me that life is an illusion. How? Because whatever life I am leading, if you see, it is the creation of my mind at a point of time. And the deep my desires are, I actually create a life exactly as my desires. So, like in a dream state, my mind went and painted so many things. Similarly, in a waking state, my mind has gone and created so many things in my life. Maybe the right kind of person in my life, the right kind of house, the right kind of car, and all these things. But even that is a creation of my mind. And I actually, if you see in the background of life, I actually have no relationship to these physical existence and creation of my life. I am that pure blissful self who has no dependency whatsoever on the physical happenings of life. I am that pure self who is ever fulfilled in my own journey. I really do not need anyone or anything to satisfy me or to fulfill me. But who in me compels me to go and create new actions, create new life so that I can lead a satisfying life forever? Who is it? Of course, it is the mind. Of course, it is the ego. Of course, the mind tells you that, oh, this person is not good. Just leave him and go, and your life will become better. This is the daily drama of the mind. The mind will tell you that, oh, you are not earning enough. Go and change the company where you're working, and you'll start earning 1 million. It is all the game of the mind and whole world. You have a look at all people, like, the successful ones like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. Their lives is a replication of their minds. These are great minds. Steve Jobs has a great mind. But look at it. Through that great mind, they created miracles for the world. The world in which we are rightly living now are the miracles created by two deep minds. One is Bill Gates and one is Steve Jobs. But look at it. By doing all that, what they have done, still, are they able to reach their own self? If they were able to reach their own self, then would there be any suffering in their life despite having this great minds? So, what I am trying to understand and question is, when you follow everything that your mind says, you might actually become the richest person on earth. You might create the biggest and the best software on the world. You might create the greatest computer on the world. You might become the most successful person on the earth. But in whose terms? So, in whose judgment you are the most successful one? It is in your mind's judgment that you are becoming successful. It is in your mind satisfaction that you are thinking, yes, I have now achieved the right car, the right job, the right salary, the right partner. Oh, everything is there in my life. Oh, I am so fulfilled. And when these people are taken away from your life, these things are taken away from your life, even for a temporary period, who is it that rejects your life, reacts to your life, tells you that you are not worthy of living, you are not worthy of anything good, and all that nonsense that is spoken to inside your head? Who is that? It is the mind, it is the ego. And the whole journey in this book with the oneness of all life is how do you annihilate or how do you kill the ego? The ego cannot be killed by taking a sword and just breaking it down. The ego can only be killed by bending your head, by becoming humble, by accepting life as it is. Use this for small, small examples of your life. Simple example like waiting for the lift. Simple example loving somebody. Simple example that someone is making you wait for something. Don't react in this situation. Don't run quickly and conclude something when a situation arrives. Just be present. Just look at the situation. Just look at it. Look at it like you will look at a green tree. Have that moment for yourself, and you will see those are the moment when you are one with your own life, when your partner is shouting on you and still you're calm, is the moment when you're actually still, when you're actually blissful. And to reach the state of bliss, you have to become mindless, because mind would never allow you to relax. It is the only job of the mind to survive. So, where does the mind survive? Where do the ego survive? Basically, these two, mind and ego, they survive on our physical entity. So it's like this, like I have eyes, I have nose, I have ears, and I'm opening these things to the world by reading the newspaper, right? So the mind will read the newspaper through my eyes. It will hear whatever is going on in the world through my ears. By doing it, the mind will start deriving clues, and then it will start speaking inside my head. Oh, that stock is doing really well. Why don't you go and invest in that stock? Oh, tomorrow that stock will become double the price. Go and invest it in the stock market. Oh, that company is really good. I think you should consider a new job. Oh, this person with whom you're staying is the worst person on earth. Just leave this person. Go, you will find some better people on earth. Take a moment to think that what the mind makes of human. And today the world is filled with the creation of the mind, because so many apps are there. What are the what are the reason that so many applications are there? Because so many minds have become very active, and all these active minds are creating active applications. It may be anything. And I'm not saying that, these applications which are very, very useful for the human society should not be there. I mean, for example, YouTube. It's because YouTube is there, I'm able to speak to you. Because WhatsApp is there, we do communicate things. So these are really great creations. But what these great creations have done to us is they have made us addicted to them. I mean, just think in a day how many times you go to the YouTube and watch a video. How many times you go to the WhatsApp? What is your screen time? And who is it that keeps on browsing through the WhatsApp videos or the YouTube videos? Think about this. What irony of life is, in search of peace, the human mind makes you do everything in which there is no peace. So how we speak, like let us have a lot of money so that we can lead a peaceful life. But when when will we have a lot of money? And what is lot of money? So who decides that this is a lot of money? Allow the mind, and if you become the richest person on earth, trust me, your mind will say, still, there is some more earnings need to be done. That's how it is, my dear friends. I really wanted to touch base with you on this, that coming out of the mind is the victory on this earth. How do you come out of the mind? Coming out of the mind is by receding to places, receding to people where you do not use your mind, having some relationship on this earth where mind is not needed, some mindless relationship, some mindless friends, mindless situation, and put the mind into a relationship and it breaks. Put it and see it. A beautiful relationship breaks through just because the mind interfered. The mind was allowed to take its own turn. The mind was just allowed to play and survive on the ego. The ego goes ahead and creates its own story, which actually has no truth, which actually has no relevance, and can quickly break everything beautiful, everything peaceful. So, whenever you're going to take a new action, think about this. Are you taking the action because of your mind and ego, or you are taking that action because you're happy with yourself? Thank you so much for coming to my channel. And I really have very less videos in my channel, and I speak whenever I feel that there is some need to speak out. Thank you so much. Take care.